May or may not be alive.
I'm already spooked.
Does comedy scare you?
Bad comedy scares me.
Yeah,
No, it's not true. Good comedy scares me too. It's the medium quality comedy that I like to live in. The world of Dimitri Martin and
That's medium. What are some other medium
and
quality
that
comics?
guy.
you-
Let's see.
How many
that guy
comics-
from The Office that was the nerd.
Dwight?
Yeah.
Or the other one? Are
Like
you
his
British
antics
Office
are
guy?
no.
Yeah, okay.
American Office. Like his antics are medium comedy to me.
Okay. So, like, how many comedians do you think you can name, Tom?
Not many.
Name all the comedians you know. Like, who are your guys? This is like
Current
it's a parody
comedians?
interview. This is like
Current
who are your guys?
comedians. Oh boy, let's see.
It doesn't have to be current. It could just be all time. Like,
That's true.
If your theoretical child came to you and was like, "Daddy, show me what funny is."
Now I haven't actually
What
listened
stand-up
to a lot of.
comedians are you
Okay,
talking
so like, is Bill Cosby still around? Is he still kicking it?
Well, yeah, the audience is already angry at us because he said Dimitri Martin was a medium comedian. So I think that's a good way to start off the stream.
I like Dimitri Martin, or they hate him. How does that? How
You're
does,
backpedaling again.
No, I'm
Just
not.
stand by one of your opinions
I didn't
once, for
say-
God's
come
sakes.
on.
Actually, my opinion was I barely have an opinion, but I've seen him do an act before live.
You named a cat after Dimitri Martin.
I didn't name that cat.
All right, so I'm Judge Reinhold,
I'm Major Tom.
And I'm Diaper Chris.
and we're back with Comedy Night. So we have the Men Drinking Coffee Discord now. It's been overtaken by trolls. Unfortunately, it is a failure.
It's a good time.
They're lecherous debaucherers that talk about nothing except for the green M&M and various other things. So again, it's a failure. But
What-
they did warn me that apparently this game has a rude user base.
They're very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
How disrespectful can they be? I mean, we've dealt with the most disrespectful.
Well, you ever
user
see
base.
Kramer at the Laugh Factory?
Yeah, I mean,
It's apparently that times 10.
oh no.
Yeah, so listen,
So this has the potential to be the most controversial stream we've done yet.
I like to think that we could get through to those people with our clean humor. And to that end, Chris and I both wrote comedy routines for Tom.
Completely original comedy routines.
Yeah, for Tom to say. So,
Have you seen these comedy routines yet, Tom?
No, I don't even know the first thing about them. All I know is that I am tasked with reading them.
Now, Judge, why did we pick Tom?
because Tom has the funniest voice.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I think also, we didn't say this, but I think we need to get Tom, we need to get you out there.
It's true.
People have an idea of you, but I think they're all wrong. Like, they don't really know Tom yet. He just, we do the men quaffing elixirs, whatever it is. Tom doesn't talk.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, quit phoning it in, Tom.
We're going to force you into a
I
situation.
said
We're
from
gonna
the
force you out of
beginning
your
that
comfort
that
zone.
wasn't my thing, so
So-
that's not like that expectation was set.
Just so you know, I have some stuff that you could say to deal with hecklers on my list. So
good.
if you need that, it's there for you.
Okay. Do you have it marked in any way, or is Tom going to have to, like, search through the list?
It's like there's like a white space between it.
Do you see it, Tom?
Mine is the one that's not red.
Can he say one of them? To try
No,
it out?
not yet.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I see. I see.
You
This is
gotta
good.
load up. Yeah, you gotta. I think I've
All
said
right.
this before. Jim Carrey once said that you have to load yourself up with a few comebacks before you leave the house every morning, just so you're prepared to deal with the bullies. So
You gotta have a thick skin. Luckily,
Yeah.
I got the thickest skin in the business.
exactly. All right.
That's another reason. All right, let's take a look at the player.
So we're setting up our comedian here, huh? So like, do we get to customize the player?
Big Meaty Fist sent $2. So take my wife, please. Thank you.
You could use that.
So this is the character I made. I was trying to go for comedy since it was comedy night.
Whoa, hold on. You didn't let us create him? You went ahead of
This is just like a starting point. So you could, whoever wants to do it, go right ahead.
Let me do it.
You nailed my body type right out of the gate. I mean, that's impressive.
I just wanna see what the
have a
options are
torso.
there.
Cool.
I just want to see what you got in the
Okay.
options department. The controller doesn't scroll?
Oh, well. There we go. We can just do this with the mouse.
The clown's good though.
You think you could be Harley Quinn?
Oh, you gotta
pay
buy
for it.
man, that's probably the shop. Yeah, we could be
There's
that.
Jack Skellington.
We could have done a Joker impression.
All right. Well, see if that can. There you go. Maybe you have control now.
Let's see what the hair options are like. And those don't work either, but that's fine. Let's see what I just want to see what's out there. We're not gonna change it necessarily unless we see something that like. Oh, look at that one in the middle, down. Yeah. No. That's not exactly.
Nah, the other one was funnier.
In the thumbnail, to me, it looked more like George Washington than Bob Marley. Maybe maybe go back to the original. Ooh, it's like the Wii Shop music.
Yeah, I don't remember which one I had. It was like the pigtails. I don't know.
Yeah, it was
what those
pigtails.
were.
It was on the right.
yeah.
It was on the right in the middle. Down there.
There it is.
Oh, there you go.
The one next to it's pretty good too. All right. See what we got in the body department. What is the +9? Does that give you like more funny? Are those funny attributes? Like it's a +11 to funny?
Listen, I kind of went with as dumb as I possibly could, so.
I don't know. The MMA fighter's pretty dumb.
It's pretty dumb. If you want, I can switch to the
man.
MMA.
Tom, it's Tom's call. He's gonna have to be the one up there,
Yeah, that one already got
facing the
that one.
hecklers.
Yeah, I like going shirtless because it proves I'm raw.
You're shirtless either way, though.
Like Eddie Murphy.
That's true. That's true. I do have cool tats in that one, though.
Yeah, you're like way like dumpier though.
Yeah,
Which
like,
I think
yeah.
is, like,
Yeah,
it
no.
makes you like an everyman.
Everybody knows that only fat people can be funny.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's why
true.
Dimitri Martin sucks.
The trolls are gonna have a field day with you.
Good. All right, now. Do you want to test out the microphone really quick?
Okay.
Tom has to talk into 2 microphones using this cockamamie setup.
Okay.
Is it Tom talking?
Or it's going to pick up pretty much anything in the room, I think, because these
Nah,
mics
whatever.
are fairly sensitive.
Don't talk, and let me see if it picks me up. Yeah, it does.
Well, that's fine.
It
Just
picks you
be
up.
quiet. Just be quiet during the performance. Please. All right. Get out of this. Good. Thank you.
All right, we're good.
All right.
So, any advice from the chat before we start here?
Blab gave $10. He says, giving till it hurts, and this is already painful.
Oh, thank you. But do we have advice though? Like how do we be funny? Does anyone know in the chat how to be funny?
I'm looking at both the YouTube chat and the Discord chat, and thus not really looking at either. So if you say stuff, I'm not going to be able to look at it.
All right, so
I think you could look at the Discord chat, Chris, because Tom's going to be the one reading, and then I'll look at the YouTube chat, and then we'll split the difference.
all right. I'm not gonna be good about looking at it. So let's get this started, huh?
Yes.
All right. You ready, Tom?
Yeah, which one should I do first?
Not mine.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, you should do mine first.
Yeah. I mean, me and Judge worked really hard on these. Ooh. Oh.
No. Go to America.
Oh.
Debates!
Wait,
hold on.
Rap battles.
Rap battles and roasts!
Wait, I didn't know it was like this. We should have prepared more. Now I have a whole bunch of ideas. Oh man, I would have wrote poetry for this.
Man,
Well, it's fine.
All right,
We're great on our feet.
impersonations. Oh, this opens up a lot,
yeah,
actually.
I can finally do my Borat impersonation.
Yes, finally. I can do my Donald Trump. I'm sure nobody's doing that.
Sir, no, that's men drinking coffee bait. Don't go to that one. They're hiding in that one.
This one right here.
Oh my god.
Is that the is that the bait?
Oh, these
Which
are
one am I-
already gross. Jeez.
A Christian servant. Where are we going, Judge?
Oh, is this it?
Yeah, we're
So
in
there's
trouble.
only like 50 people playing this game right now.
Great. Let's go to poetry and prose.
But that's for poetry.
All right.
Obama's semen room seems like
No,
something.
we're not going to Obama's semen room.
Is
People are gonna think we did this intentionally, and I just did not prepare. Just create a new room.
All right, people will come to it. All right.
Okay.
So
Cool.
we gotta wait for people to come. Let's get on the stage first. How do we get on the stage? Judge, I think you gotta control it.
Hold. Yeah, okay. What does this mean? Okay.
You can
Get up on the-
emote.
Okay,
there
good.
we go. Yeah.
All right, we got a person.
Hey, come on in, folks. Welcome.
That's a taster. Get out of here.
Oh, you can stay.
No, get him out of there.
I don't know how to get him out. How am I supposed to Tom heckle him out of the room?
Okay, good.
He left already.
Good.
When does he start his routine?
Great. Good.
I think that he needs to start his routine once people get in here.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
one
not
person?
performing to an empty room.
All right, so
I'm too expensive for that.
maybe it's like a conference call. Like you just got to tell, like if there's one or two in there, just be like, hold on, we're waiting for a few more.
Yeah, I'll say.
You know.
Say who just joined. Hello.
Yes, we do have a backup. We're just gonna play an emulator. All right, well, this isn't working. Let's join one of the other rooms.
All right, Judge, you're gonna have to control the whole thing. The controller does not work.
All right.
There's too many chat rooms. Tom, the Discord is suggesting that you make jokes about Judge smelling bad.
Ooh.
Don't you do it. I will pull the plug. All right, here's the Christian one.
All right, we gotta watch this guy.
How do you make holy water? You boil the hell out of it.
Hey, give him a clap.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Okay, next up, Mad Stamp.
Wait,
man, I
how do we get on the
church
stage?
once? I pooped in the church. Y'all pooped in the church? Nah, man.
Oh,
Okay, so I figure for my next act, I'll just blow some bubbles for y'all. I think you might have fun with that.
Hit the perform button. Tom, you ready to go?
He's blowing bubbles.
Make sure you introduce
I'm ready.
yourself.
I'm ready.
Make
All right, you ready?
introduce-
Yes.
All right.
That was my bit, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
oh, okay.
Hey, first of all, blowing a straw into a bunch of milk does not make it smoky, okay? And now I have a joke to tell
That's
you.
what I was doing when I was blowing bubbles.
Oh. Okay. I have a joke. Stop booing me! If you're all so pissed off, go collectively kill
This
yourselves.
is a Christian
Oh
room.
my
This is a
God.
Christian
Oh,
room.
man.
You're sick.
That was great. That was my favorite one yet.
All right, make sure you introduce yourself, Tom. Are you nervous?
This guy's good.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Woo!
So, what do you, knock knock.
He's dying out there. Somebody save him.
This guy's like Johnny Carson. He's great. I love him.
Who keeps putting this guy on?
Video game.
That's you.
Oh, hey, folks. How y'all doing out there? Hey, I'm a big TV guy, and the other day I was watching The Crocodile Hunter. What planet did he beam down from? He's this Australian guy who wears shorts and hiking boots, and he gets this close to a cobra and goes, I am inches from death.
Shirt ass.
But this snake is gorgeous. And I'm thinking, hey, loser, that snake is poisonous. And he's always jumping on the back of crocodiles, putting his hands over his eyes. What is that? Okay, until the crocodile guesses who you are? He's like, this is how you sedate a crocodile. No, sir, a bullet is how you sedate a crocodile.
Wasn't funny.
What, do you think this is easy? Come on up here, you'll see how easy it is.
I will come up here, bastard.
Then get up here.
I will.
Hey, here's a political joke for you.
Shitty things.
What the heck is a frickin' confefe anyway?
Oh, haha.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Read the other one.
All right, let's see. Try this one on for size. So I was filling out some paperwork the other day, and I came across the question sex. And I answered, yes, please.
No.
Boo.
Batman. Batman.
I'll have what he's having.
Batman. Batman. Batman.
We gotta wait for a cooldown.
Fill out these papers, man.
Cooldown timer. It's gonna go.
Bye. and I smoked weed out of a plastic bomb and the fumes stuck inside my lungs.
How do we talk to him?
So when I went to smoke again, I passed out and died. And in the meanwhile, the crocodile ate my pussy.
No.
And my pussy was real juicy.
Give it to me.
And that's the end of that story.
No. Oh.
You gotta perform again.
Well, I probably ain't going to.
How's this guy doing it with his eyes?
It's a good question.
I hope this man is not masturbating onto his microphone.
Fuck you.
He's gonna get banned. Oh my god. Should we wait?
Okay,
You're
guys, so I have
two
one
more.
more original joke for you. Okay, so this guy walks into a bar. He sees this one guy sitting on the roof, and he takes a drink out of this drink sitting next to him, and just takes one jump off the roof. Now this building is like 10 stories high. So this guy, he comes within 1 foot of the ground, and right before he's about to go splat, he starts flying. And he flies right back up and goes on top of the roof again. Then he takes
Still reading
another
Judge's
sip, and you know what
routine.
he does? He does it again.
Oh, it's
So
done.
the guy goes up to the bartender,
All right,
and
so
he says,
that was it.
"I'll have
I
a
hit it
sip."
all.
More.
And the
Mine's a little more
bartender
long
gives him
form
a
here.
martini. Try.
Oh, this is great. Dude, if they let me stand up here and do this whole routine, that would be
It's 2 pages
amazing.
long, folks.
Right off. You know what he does? Splat. Falls to his death.
Give him a
Immediately.
clap.
It's quite painful too.
Let's
He doesn't
support our
quite
local
die at
comedians.
first. He kind of struggles there and starts. You know how when you break your neck, you start going, and it sounds all horrible and stuff. He was doing that. Anyway, back in the bar, the bartender says to the guy jumping off the roof, "Superman, you are really mean drunk." Thank you, guys.
Oh.
That man is dying. Somebody help that man.
All right, get ready, Tom.
All right.
What do you call a snake that's
This is the best act on
measured
it.
3.14? A python.
Say something about ham.
He's right.
Yo, who's your nigga? Who's the niggas?
Hey guys, what's my Steam password? Oh.
Nigga.
Come on now. All right.
The audience.
Jeez.
N-word and every other word, no. Well, I mean, cuss words, I mean.
I'll do
No
it.
bad profanity.
Yeah, kick him.
Yeah, kick him.
Tom, say kick him.
And R, mostly.
You should kick that guy.
Oh, you're up.
All right.
Do your routine.
So, I love words. I thank you for hearing my words. I want to tell you something about words that I think is important. They're my work, they're my play, they're my passion. Words are all we have, really. We have thoughts, but thoughts are fluid, you know, like woo, 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 pop. Then we have assign a word to a thought, and we're stuck with that word for that thought, so be careful with your words. I like to think that, yeah, the same words can hurt, they can heal. It can be a matter of how you pick them. There are some words and some people that aren't into all those words. There are some that would have you not use certain words. Yeah, there's like 400,000 words in the English language, and there are 7 of them that you can't say on television. What a ratio that is. 399,993 to 7. That must be really bad. They got to be outrageous to be separated from a group that large. All of you over here use 7 bad words.
7 that you can't say.
That's what they told us they were, remember? That's a bad word. No bad words, bad thoughts, bad intentions and words. You know the 7, don't you? That you can't say on television?
This is a fucking lecture.
Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man, Crash, Jack, Dexter, and Bubsy.
You got cut off. We'll go back on, and you continue.
Yes. I'm gonna just go right from where I left off.
Hey, everybody. Hey. So,
Can't believe they kicked you off.
We got this.
They didn't appreciate it. It was too high concept for them. So
I know, they couldn't handle it.
Jungle. I'm looking for ham.
I haven't found any, but I got a plan. It's a contingency plan for the absent ham. I'm gonna lock my
What's
hand
going
and
on?
then as fast as I can, I'm gonna run through the neighbor streets like a monkey.
This guy's
Gonna
good.
hop on YouTube, check out Video Game Junkie, cause I am a ballin' ass baby man, king of jungle, and I don't even
Thank you.
Batman.
so sick.
Hey, you wanna hear a joke? Here's a joke. It's called life. You know what the punchline is dead. Thank you.
This guy's twisted.
Man, ask him if he's a fan of the Joker.
Because, you know, I just want to run a nice Christian server.
Tom, make sure you throw it to the next guy. Matt, Stan.
Yeah.
I got another one, I guess.
This guy's great.
What kind of bagel flies?
This guy's good.
Plain bagel.
Oh my god. Someone needs to fucking.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Someone do a Rick and Morty joke. Like a pickle Rick.
Our friend
Guys,
Piss Baby
I am
Brown is
pickled.
going on next.
Hey! An honor to be on the stage tonight. I'm wondering, do we have any gamers in the crowd?
Yeah.
Can I get a show of hands for the
Yeah, give
gamers?
him a hand.
Yeah, give him a hand.
Give him a hand.
Yeah, you know what it's about.
Yeah.
Does your mom ever come in your room and say, "What's a video game?" Is that just me?
No, all the time.
Ain't that the truth?
It's it. So I'm wondering, like, my mom comes up to me, she says, "What's a video game?" And I gotta explain video games to her, but she just doesn't get it, you know. So she's like, "How do you tell a gamer is in your vicinity? How do you know when there's a gamer around?" And I have to lay it out for her.
You can
Basically, if somebody says King Kong and you think Donkey Kong, you might be a gamer.
Yes, so true. That is so true.
So true.
SJW, and you think that stands for Social Justice Wampa Fruit? You might be a gamer.
Yeah.
If somebody asks you what your favorite song is, and you say a song from a video game, you might be a gamer.
Oh my god.
If somebody says they're part of the alt-right, and you think that is a keyboard shortcut in StarCraft 2, you might be a gamer. Anyway, don't forget to tip your waitress.
Good. It's very well done.
Oh, okay. Hey,
All right, you're up next, Tom.
So, guys, thanks for keeping this stuff like Christian friendly, family friendly for everyone. Hey, hey guys, mind if I tell a joke? Can I tell a joke?
Man, the crowd is ice cold for this guy. The MC.
What do you mean? What? Stop it.
MC needs a better mic.
Oh, okay then. So guys, what does a big computer call its father? Fuck you. You ruined it. You ruined it.
He said no cursing.
Oh, that last guy was terrible. Bring back that Piss Baby Brown guy. He was great. He's talking about the real life stuff. But hey, you know the 7, don't you? The 7 words you can't say on television. Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man, Crash, Jack.
All right, well, we tried.
Well,
we gotta go to another room.
Family friendly game. I just autistic people to enjoy it.
How do you get out of here?
Guys. Come on.
Alright, leave her. Oh, we got booed out. They just don't understand our comedy, Tom.
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
Let's debate.
Debate someone.
Oh, nobody's playing this.
Ah, good. We win. Yes. That's because everybody debates on Skype.
What's in the music section?
Okay.
Oh, let's just observe for a moment.
Okay.
It's true. Okay,
we're
so
performing?
I brought my guitar. Let's do this. All right.
Becky.
He's like,
I'm holding up a lighter.
this is from TwitchCon. This is the talent show.
Another mind, another soul, another body to grow. It's not complicated.
Tom, are you good at singing? It seems like a serious room.
I know.
It seems like real serious. I don't know if we should be here.
No, okay, I fucked up. Okay, 1 second.
Oh God. Good luck, Tom. Just keep.
What are you gonna sing, Tom?
Guys, I don't think this is sincere. I don't think she has an audience in the background of her living room. Unless she's performing this on stage in her house.
That'd be weird to like perform on stage and then put the feed of comedy night up on the stage.
Yeah.
Tom, the chat wants you to sing City Escape from Sonic. The Discord chat. Do you know the first words of the City Escape from Sonic?
No, I don't know anything about Sonic.
Oh yeah, we've
I'm
established
not
that.
a nerd. You know who knows a lot about Sonic? Dimitri Martin.
Creed Lord says, man, can't wait for Captain Cream Pie's performance.
Tom would be able to sing a Radiohead song, Stout.
Yeah, probably.
If you're gonna sing any Radiohead song, Tom, what are you gonna sing?
Oh,
I can do Creep for you. You just go, I'm a Creep. That's how you sound.
I was gonna make a joke about. I was gonna sing a Coldplay song because people think Radiohead and Coldplay are the same thing.
Yeah, I do think the crowd noise is in the game.
Yeah, it's what I do with the soundboard. Just doing the same thing.
She's too good. Do you think you could sing Snake Eater, Tom?
If I could remember the lyrics, maybe.
How about the Home Improvement theme?
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is Becky.
Wow. I enjoyed that performance.
What? You actually think that shit, or?
Huh?
I know.
I'm not being
I'm saying,
sarcastic.
I'm saying, did she actually sing it though?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so nervous.
Oh, thank you.
Alright. Just keeping it honest. You wouldn't want a young brother if I wasn't whipping this for it.
Oh, you are so in trouble.
No, I got it. I know what I'm doing. I got it.
Tell mama, you know I have always
This guy's like Miguel.
Oh man.
No,
they're gonna love this. I guarantee it. I need my water. Hold on.
Loosen up the vocal cords.
Hey, folks. How's everybody doing? Y'all want to hear some beatboxing? Sorry. Hold on. Okay, wait, sorry, that guy, hold on. I can't do that one. It's really hard. Okay, let's see, what else? I could do some ham boning. Y'all into ham boning?
Go, Patrick.
Who?
Go, Patrick.
Patrick? Who's Patrick?
Go to the 7. Go to the 7 words.
You know, I love words. I thank you for hearing my words. I want to tell you something about words that I think is important. They're my work. They're my play. They're my passion. Words are all we have, really. We have thoughts, but thoughts are fluid, you know, like woo, 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 pop. Then we assign a word to a thought, and we're stuck with that word for that thought, so be careful with words. I'd like to think that, yeah, the same words can hurt and heal. It's a matter of how you pick them, right? There are some people that aren't into all the words. There are some that would have you not use certain words. Yeah, there's like 400,000 words in the English language, and there are 7 of them that you can't say on television. What a ratio that is. 399,993 to 7. They must be really bad. They'd have to be outrageous to be separated from a group that large. All you over here, you 7 bad words. That's what they told us they were, remember? That's a bad word. No bad words, bad thoughts, bad intentions, bad words. You know the 7, don't you? The 7 words you can't say on television? Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man, Crash, Jack, Daxter, and Bubsy. Those are the heavy 7. Those are the ones that'll infect your soul. Curve your...
got kicked off again.
We never get to the punchline.
For the record, I like the name Frank Sriracha.
Yeah, that's really good. Uh-oh.
His palms are sweaty. Knees weak, I'm sweating already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous. On the surface, he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down.
That's a good suggestion. Cabron in the Discord says to talk about hidden gems.
Now the clock's run out. Time's up over blouse. Now back.
All right, Tom. Maybe next time you need to just launch straight into the 7 words.
It'll work this time. Hey, I got my whole crocodile hunter bit out. Like, plus the heckling, plus my one political joke.
That's because those are coming faster and quicker.
That's true. This takes a while to build up.
It's a thinking man's joke. There's 7 words you can't say on television.
That's true.
That's what they said about that George. I mean, yeah, it's a thinking man's joke.
Yeah.
The moment you want it, you better never let it go. Only get one shot, do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime, yo.
I don't know what Piss Baby Brown is gonna do.
Benedict Williams says they thought you were serious for way too long.
That's true.
Yeah, let's just boo him.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll kick him off faster. You can hear Frank Sriracha.
How does it work when you get kicked? Is it enough people kind of just vote that you're bad and you get kicked off?
I don't know.
He's singing the...
You know the rules and so.
There he goes.
A full commitment.
Skeleton Guile singing Rick Ashley.
Those guys got cool, like Bart Simpson hair too.
Yeah, Skeleton Bart Simpson, yeah. I wonder what Piss Baby Brown's got planned.
Oh, we gotta find my acoustic guitar. From the infamous Ride to Hell LP.
Oh, man.
I think I threw it out.
Oh, that's a good suggestion, except we'll get banned.
What was it?
Just play the Laugh Factory video.
Oh, man.
That's from Ovi Lord on the Discord.
For so long, your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's been going on.
Tom is digging it.
Tom's tapping his feet.
Yeah, Tom, sing American Pie.
Oh, God.
We're not being rickrolled.
Too blind to see, and then you go to the chorus, and you're never gonna get it.
Might work. Sorry.
You never gonna.
I am enjoying this.
I know, it's good.
Yeah, goodbye.
The crowd's loving it.
Tom, sing Skidamarinky Dinky Doo. You know that one?
I think so. Is it the Lamb Chop song?
I think so.
Oh,
Frank Sriracha.
To the stage, everybody.
This guy's cool.
Frank Sriracha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Applaud him.
And admin once told me that I could mine some diamonds. I have the sharpest tool in my chest.
Oh boy. There's a Minecraft song.
Funny, cause I didn't have any diamonds, so I am gonna go to a mine shaft. So I didn't stop mining and I didn't stop mining.
He should have done this about bitcoins instead of diamonds. Just constructive criticism.
So much to mine, so much insight, so what's wrong if I mine for days? Never mind if you don't go.
Maybe Tom can get up and tell us Chris Angel's story.
I'm a miner, get my armor on, go mine.
We'll do that. We can do like a private room.
Yeah.
All I want is diamonds. Only mining ores break the cobblestone.
Hey, yeah,
Yes.
I'm here for Frank Sriracha. I gotta ask, are there any?
You suck.
Hey, you suck.
That was a YouTube.
Hey.
Oh no.
Hey, you don't know that. Hey, you don't know that. All right, this song goes. Shut the fuck up.
Oh my god.
Out there.
YouTube up there.
He's having a Kramer moment.
It's a Kramer moment.
Baby Brown's infamous Kramer moment. He's having a heated gamer moment. A heated Kramer moment.
Your mom's gonna get mad at you. Don't be loud in the house.
This must be a new character he's working on. Good luck, Piss Baby Brown.
Alright, let's see what the rap battle's got going.
Yeah, let's see what they got there. Oh no, go to that one.
Japanese one.
Oh man.
Alright.
Alright, now one, go in there. Okay.
Alright, now go up there and ask him if you could tell a story.
Okay.
Let's tell it to this Japanese man.
Hello, sir. You mind if I tell a story?
Say domo.
Domo.
There you go.
Domo. Do you mind if I tell a story?
Okay, just go into your Chris Angels.
I don't think he speaks the language.
It's cool. So this will be. Yes. Hey. You have a dumb face that looks bad, and you should be ashamed of yourself, sir.
You gotta rhyme it.
Hey. What's up?
Tell him, say, look at your
Domo.
boots. Look at your boots. They're growing roots.
Look at your boots. They're growing roots.
I think we need to have
Now it's
Chris
your
on the
turn.
microphone.
Yeah, get over here.
Yeah, switch seats, you two.
Yeah. You're the hip hop fan.
Give us a second here, folks. Just get out of the chairs, you dingbats.
No, this is way funnier.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yo, look at you. You ain't even got no skin. Where do I even begin?
Wow. Damn, he got you. He got you.
Okay. I see you. Oh, okay, you're not done.
I think he's done.
Okay. Oh,
It's not done yet.
I see you got a pumpkin head. Will you let me talk? This is how a rap battle works.
Fair.
This is how rap battles work in Japan. Get me out of this.
No, you finish it.
Anyways, like I was saying, look at you. You got a pumpkin head. And you might as well be dead. Like Drop Dead Fred, the movie from the 90s. Your turn.
Sans rien laisser de leur velours.
I feel like you two are they're talking past each other. Tom, get back in there. You've been to,
oh, this guy's gonna keep going, I guess.
You've been to Japan before, right? What's he saying?
This is some wacky performance.
Say your mama. You're rap battling him.
Oh my god! You can't come. Tom, just give him like the bop, 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 bop.
Beautiful.
Like give him a beat. Give him a beat.
Yeah. Would you like a beat?
Give me the human beatbox again.
All right, ready? I'm gonna give you the human beatbox, and then you're gonna rap over it. Ready? Hold on, that's We Will Rock You. Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going.
Do a record scratch.
I'm spitting all over the mic.
This man is hauntingly beautiful.
See, you put Kanye over this, it's album of the year.
Thank you. I think we've bridged the gap between Japan and America.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank
That
you,
was,
Pumpkin
that
Jack.
was hauntingly beautiful, so fitting for Halloween.
Thank you, Pumpkin Jack. All right. There it is. Oh, great.
Bye, folks.
All right.
Great.
Tom hopes he's done. Tom is like dying.
Great.
He's never had to talk this much in a year.
That's true. If you added it all together.
Wow. I don't know if we're going to be able to top that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was pretty great. Well, I'll just jump into the Halloween rooms. Let's see what kind of...
I don't think there was any.
There weren't any? Well, now this is just sad.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to tell the Chris Angel story.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
you can just do it in this room.
Do it in here.
Yeah, so whatever.
We're performing for you, the audience at home.
It just so happens that I'm on stage. All right.
Okay.
So I was in Vegas about, I think, a month ago
hold on,
at this
Judge
point.
makes so you do animations for him here.
Yeah. So I was in Vegas about a month ago for work, and had a conference. Decided to stay over the weekend in Vegas. Now, originally, I was supposed to meet my brother out there, and we were going to hang out because he only lived like 4 hours away from Vegas at the time. But after I bought my plane tickets, he decided to move back home, so I was going to be basically by myself in Vegas for like 3 days after this conference. So like, okay, whatever, I'll make the best of it. So I made a decision that I was going to go to a show because like I had all this time. And I wanted to go to something I hadn't seen before, so I saw Cirque, and I saw Elton John and a bunch of other stuff.
Cirque is what they call Cirque du Soleil. If you're a big Cirque head.
Yeah.
What Cirque did you see?
I've seen Ka.
What is that? What do these
Ra,
things mean?
And O, and all
these are words and letters.
They're all. I think at least Ka's a show. Anyway, I've seen a bunch of them.
They're just noises.
There's like the cheating words in Scrabble.
Yes. So I decide that on Sunday night of the weekend, I'm going to go see Chris Angel. Because I'm like, well, if I'm in Vegas, I'm going to see a show. I'm going to be guaranteed to be entertained, so I'm going to check this out. So Sunday rolls around. I go to Luxor. I end up spending about 2.5 hours in the Titanic artifact exhibit that they have there ahead of time. And that was actually really cool. But then I decide that I'm going to also buy tickets to Chris Angel. So I walk up to the box office and I buy the cheapest tickets I could possibly buy. This is going to get scary in a minute, sir. So hold your horses. So I go up to the box office, buy my Chris Angel ticket, and it was still like $60. And I'm all the way at the top of the theater. So I'm like, whatever. I'll be in the room. It'll be hilarious. I'll just laugh at him, whatever. Now at Luxor, he has his own theater, and it's called the Chris Angel Theater, which is pretty wild. He's been there like 9 years already, which is crazy to think about. And this comes into play later in the show because it turns out that this new show that he's doing starting this summer is the first one that he's had like complete and total creative control over. So when you look at all the marketing for the show, it's written by, produced by, performed by Chris Angel. So I am in for a treat, and I know this. So doors open.
Pure Chris Angel experience.
Yes. So doors open. I go to the Chris Angel Theater, walk in. I'm walking toward the lobby of the theater, and on the way down the hall, he has set up on either side of the hallway glass containers that have all the custom motorcycles that he's made. And they all have like ridiculously dumb names like the Punisher and the Crusher and Diablo and all this stuff. And they got skulls all over them, and they're basically dipped in chrome. Exactly what you think like a Chris Angel motorcycle would look like. So I'm already feeling pretty good. I'm thinking, boy, if this is what you're seeing on the way into the lobby, the actual show's got to be just incredibly ridiculous. So I get into the lobby, and there's a bar on one side, there's a merch table on the other, and all over the walls, first of all, it looks like a Hot Topic just basically like threw up in there. And there's velvet everywhere, and everything's purple and red and black and very dark. And all over the walls, he has these shadow boxes that have all the different types of props from the Mind Freak show over the years. And one of them that I just noticed out of the corner of my eye as I was walking in was just a shadow box filled with weird masks that he's worn in the show over the years. Some that obscure his whole face, and others that just make him look like he's got a weird Pinocchio nose or something that he probably used for some dumb bit. And a lot of them were in play in the actual show itself. So I'm looking at all these different masks and all these different shadow boxes, and again, I know I'm in for something special. So I walk in, I sit down in my seat, which again is basically the nosebleed seats in the theater, and wait about 15 minutes and the pre-show begins. So we are 15 minutes from the point where the show actually starts, and this video screen pops down, and they start showing what is essentially the Chris Angel biography. And it starts all the way back in 1971 or whenever he was born. So it's pretty nuts because at this point, Chris Angel is 50 years old. 50 years old. So this guy is doing all this
half a century
stuff at 50. That would be like my uncle, you know, dressing up like a goth and running around doing illusions. So anyway, they start with the Chris Angel biography. And they start when he's young, and he wanted to do magic since he was a little kid, and he used to get out of detention by doing this trick with these quarters, and he does the quarter bit later as a part of the show to, you know, connect with his younger self or whatever.
Goes full circle.
Yes, it does. But they get to the part where he's in his 20s, and I never really knew about any of this because to me, Chris Angel doesn't enter like the cultural lexicon until the Mind Freak show. And the Mind Freak show doesn't come around until about 2000, 2001. But it turns out in the 90s, he was in like the buttiest butt rock band there ever was. Like Puddle of Mud mixed with Korn, mixed with all the worst bands from that late 90s period. And he was the front man. And you could tell that is what he wanted to do. Like, he never wanted to be a magician. He always wanted to be the leader of a rock band. And this comes into play later, too, because he incorporates some of his rock stardom tendencies into the show. But my mind's already blown or freaked, if you will. Because I'm like, oh, my gosh, he was in this like really awful butt rock band. And this was even before we got to the actual Mind Freak show. So they start talking about the actual Mind Freak show, and it turns out that he sings the theme for the Mind Freak show, and it's, again, the buddiest butt rock you've ever heard in your life. The I am the Mind Freak, and it's like over these like real chugging guitars, and it's just the worst of everything about 2001 encapsulated in like a 4-minute song. So they start talking about all these accomplishments that and mind, the show hasn't even started yet. So they're talking about all these accomplishments that he had as the Mind Freak show went on. He was the man who holds the Guinness World Book of Records entry for being submerged for the longest amount of time. And he hung suspended by meat hooks or something in the middle of Times Square. I don't know, weird Chris Angel stuff. So the show gets ready to begin, and right before the show starts, they actually show a bunch of accomplishments all in a row. He was Magician of the Decade and received the prestigious Houdini Award for the most accomplished magician of the past 100 years or something.
The Houdini Award.
Yes. These are all, like Job in Arrested Development. These are like the level of awards that he has won, and there's just a big list of them on the screen. And they're hyping up the crowd. Oh, are you ready to see Chris Angel? And then everybody's screaming, and then it starts getting weirdly sexual, where they start specifically calling out the women. It's like, all right, ladies, how many of you just came here to see Chris Angel? And they scream, "Wah!" And then he's like, oh yeah, are you getting all hot for Chris Angel? And they're like, woo! They're like, do you think Chris is hot? And like, I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable.
They keep going on and on.
They're like really focusing in on the women, and I'm like, this is really weird.
Were you getting hot?
I was, but only because there was so much flame that was shooting out from the stage that it was making it very warm in the theater. So the show actually starts, and they start the show by showing the Chris Angel Mind Freak television show beginning. So it starts with the butt rock theme song. I'm the Mind Freak.
Yeah.
And it starts, and then all of a sudden the film grain burns up. When you're at the movie theater, and the projector screws up, and then a voice comes over the PA and says, well, we're having technical difficulties. We have to delay the start of the show by 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh, this is cute. This is kind of clever, right? They're like breaking the fourth wall. Chris is really proud of this because, this ain't your typical magic show or whatever.
Yeah.
People around me are legitimately pissed.
You called them a bunch of rubes.
Oh my God, it was amazing. Yeah, so they're buying into this hook, line, and sinker. They're like, I can't believe I paid $100 for these tickets. This better not be like when I saw a Blue Man Group and I didn't see the last half hour of the show because of technical. And I'm listening to all these people talk about this.
Cool.
So they give it
the
2
one
or
Blue
3.
Man had diarrhea.
Yeah. Blue diarrhea. So of course, they give it 2 or 3 minutes, and then they shine a spotlight on the front row of the theater, and it's this short, stocky Mexican guy and this super tall, chubby white woman, and they're in these sequin costumes, and they start doing this routine about how they do a competing show at another hotel. And what a coincidence, we can keep everybody entertained while they fix Chris Angel's technical difficulties. So they get up on stage and they start doing this 100% like vaudeville level magic act where, he's like pulling stuff out of his crotch and making all these like innuendo jokes. And
for some reason they're mic'd too.
Yes, that was the whole thing. So... And I'm buying into it. I'm like laughing. I'm like, this is pretty funny. I wasn't expecting this from Chris. I wasn't expecting anything to be funny for the entirety of the show. Now, some things were intentionally funny, like this guy and this woman doing this bit. Other things were not intentionally funny, which I'll get to later on in the show. So they go up and they do their routine for like 10, 15 minutes. And then it becomes apparent that they're part of the show. And... it's a little comedic relief at the beginning. And then they start hyping up the crowd for Chris. And again, it gets like weirdly sexual. Where it's the guy this time go like, yeah, are you ladies here to see Chris? How hot is he? He's so hot, right? I wish I was that hot. Because like the whole, like the run, and you could, like, the whole thing, the thing to keep in mind is that Chris basically wrote this entire show. So he's writing all this stuff for this guy to say about how hot Chris Angel is.
He's like Poochie.
Yeah, it's really weird. So... finally the show starts, and he does 4 or 5 illusions all in a row, just right off the beginning of the show. And I'm sitting there, and I'm watching him do these illusions, and I'm legitimately impressed. I cannot figure out how he's doing some of this stuff, because it's one thing to see it on TV, because on TV you could say, oh, well, they're just faking that, whatever. Seeing it live on stage, I was legitimately kind of amazed by the stuff he was doing. I was not expecting that. Now, yes, the illusion themselves are great. They're very impressive. However, these performances are wrapped up, again, in the goofiest, like, dumbest, what a 10th grader thought was cool in, like, 2002 aesthetic. So he's wearing like a full-length leather trench coat, and he's got boots with giant buckles all over him, and he's wearing like white gloves, and he's basically doing all these like weird dance moves while he's doing these illusions. The entire time he has backing music for these illusions played by live performers. And there's one guy in the right corner that's playing guitar, and another guy in the left corner of the stage that's playing a couple of synths and like other various electronic instruments. Now, of course, keeping with the theme, the guy on the guitar is playing the buddiest, like chunkiest butt rock riffs you've ever heard, and the guitar is maybe, I'm not exaggerating, maybe 8 inches off from the ground. So it's like between his knees, and it's a flying V, and he's got long hair, and he's thrashing it, like playing these super chunky riffs. And the guy on the synths is playing all the percussion. Right? So basically everything else is coming from the synths. There was one piece of equipment which looked like DJ equipment that he didn't touch for the longest time, but he gets to it later in the show. And I made a mental note of that, because I'm like, boy, that's weird. At what point does he need, 2 decks to basically mix song that he comes into play later? So we get 4 or 5 illusions in, and Chris comes out, because what they need to do is they need to drop the curtain, and they need to do some changes to the set so he can do his next set of illusions. So they drop the curtain, he comes out in front, and he starts doing some crowd work. Because again, like, from the beginning, from the Chris Angel bio thing, you could tell he always wanted to be a rock star, and it still pains him. It still pains 50-year-old Chris Angel that he was never a rock star, and like this is his big chance. So he gets the stick mic, and he comes out and he
gets a stick mic.
Yeah, he's got a stick mic,
like the Bob Barker mic.
Yeah, he comes out, so he's sitting on the end of the stage, and he starts doing his crowd work. Have you guys liked what you saw so far? And everybody starts screaming, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, that last one was cool, wasn't it? And they're like, yeah. And then again, it starts getting weird, where he starts basically going like, "Hey, ladies, did you like that?" And all the ladies screaming, and it starts getting weirdly sexual again. He's like baiting them again, going, "Oh yeah, so I bet you're really gonna like my next costume and all this stuff." And again, I'm getting like weirdly uncomfortable with this. And at one point in this first set of crowd work, he starts going, "Okay, so if you guys saw something really cool and you want to let me know that you thought it was cool, I want you guys to stand up and start screaming, because this isn't your normal magician show. This isn't like David Copperfield or anything like that. I want you guys to get up and get wild. So if you see something cool, just stand up and start shouting. Why don't we just do a practice one here real quick?" And then nobody stands up or does anything. And he's just kind of sitting there on the edge of the stage being like, "All right, cool, I get it. So, you're not comfortable with it right now, but, again, if you see something that was really cool and it freaks you out, just stand up and start yelling, because this is going to be, not your typical magic show." So he goes back to doing his illusions. So at this point, we're about 2/3 of the way through the show, and he's going to do one of his bigger illusions, which he's going to cut his assistant in half.
Oh boy. And
his assistant is exactly what you think she would look like. She's young, tall, skinny, blonde. Now, he runs some video B-roll before the illusion begins that shows, oh, this is 75 years ago. This is how they used to do the cut the woman in half bit. And it's, again, all grainy black and white footage of like an old vaudevillian magician cutting somebody in half and the legs kicking and everything. And he's like, we're going to blow that out of the water today. So the curtain comes back up and they're ready to do this illusion. But before he does it, what Chris wants to do is, again, more crowd work. He wants to bring somebody up on stage and have them inspect everything so they can prove that there's no weird tricks going on here. Everything's real. It's all kosher. There's no trap doors or weird mirrors or anything. So, of course, there's no way in hell he's picking a dude to come up on stage. Just no way in hell. Mm-hmm. So he ends up bringing this woman on stage, and he has her walk up to the big table that they're going to saw his assistant in half on. And he goes, I want you to feel this table. I want you to let me know if it's real or not. Do you think that table's real? Do you think that's solid? And she just like doesn't get it. She's just kind of looking at him, and she keeps saying no, as in no, it's not real. And he's like, no, really, no, feel this table. I want you to knock on it, and I want you to look underneath it and on top of it, and I want you to tell me, if you think that table is a real table. And she's like, no. And basically he's like, just say yes, just say it's like, he didn't really say this, but he was getting really frustrated because apparently this woman didn't speak English really well, and she didn't quite understand the concept, but he just picked somebody random out of the crowd. So
that's how you know it's authentic.
After that, and I have theories on why this is the case, like why he keeps having these snafus, but finally the illusion begins. And by the illusion beginning, I mean the entire stage is just flooded with like dry ice and like weird just smoke clouds. And the stage is very dark. And at the very back of the stage, all you can see through all the smoke are two headlights. And a car starts driving on stage. Now, this is no ordinary car. It looks like a pickup truck with some kind of insane apparatus on the back, a bunch of scaffolding, and then I could see it just come into view. You can see a giant, like comically large buzzsaw is on top of this car in the trunk bed. Now, on top of the roof of the trunk, his assistant is riding this car. and again, 10th graders mentality and like what a cool thing to be doing would be on top of this car. She's like wearing thigh-high boots and like a schoolgirl skirt and like a leather bra, and she has a whip and she's whipping.
Oh, Chris Angel knows that's cool.
She's whipping the top of the car and essentially riding it kind of like a bull.
Chris Angel probably pays her to ride out on one of his motorcycles later.
Like he did a bit with his motorcycles too, by the way. So they weren't out there just for play. Like he actually used them in a bit where he made one of them appear on stage, which again, very cool. No idea how he did it. Wrapped in the dumbest aesthetics ever.
Cool.
So they do the saw the woman in half trick, and again, really impressive. He like hangs the two halves of the woman on like either side of the stage. And I have no idea how he's doing this. Like I'm kind of, I'm starting to get like legitimately freaked out. I'm like, oh man, maybe he is for real.
You were the titular mind freak.
So my mind was starting to get freaked just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Then he comes out and he does another round of crowd work because they're resetting the stage. And again, same thing. Trying to rile the crowd up. He's not really getting any reaction. Goes back behind the curtain. Now we get set for the next, which is essentially the last like third of the show, the next set of illusions. And he prefaces all of this by saying he's going to do his most impressive illusion yet that everybody loves. And it is, of course, levitating. Everybody asks him to levitate. Can you levitate me? Can you levitate my friend? Can you levitate on command? There's this whole, again, video package before this starts about how everybody's here to see him levitate.
Everybody's walking up to Chris Angel on the street, and they're like, can you levitate? Can you levitate me? I got nipples.
Yeah. Can you levitate them too? So, curtain comes back up. Again, fog all over the stage. Lights. Contemplative piano music starts playing. And Chris Angel comes out. he has done another costume change, and this time he's wearing what looks to be like black leggings and what I can best describe as the puffy shirt from Seinfeld. that is the best way you could picture this, because that's immediately what I thought about. So he starts doing, again, contemplative piano music, and he starts doing this kind of faux ballet routine where he's doing these graceful movements, and then these LED screens come down. These LED screens, they were probably maybe 3 or 4 feet wide, but maybe 8 or 10 feet tall. So columns, essentially. Now, on these columns, there are floating candles, and these floating candles start coming across these LED lights. And then he starts levitating his assistant. While he starts levitating his assistant, these really ornate frames show up on the LED screens, and they're floating by along with the candles. He then takes one of those frames, like a real one, and while his assistant is levitating, he passes the picture frame over her, just to prove there's no wires or anything. And again, I'm like, wow, how is he doing that? This is kind of impressive. Again, stupidest aesthetic ever. So eventually, the picture frames that are on the LED screen start filling in, because these were empty frames up until this point. And they start filling in with pictures of kids. I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of weird. More and more kids in the frame start flying by on these LED screens along with the candles, with the flames. Then they start showing names of the kids underneath the pictures. Thank you. And then eventually, underneath the names of the kids, they start showing a beginning year and an end year, which at this point I can only assume is a birth year and a death year.
Yes.
And at this point, I'm just like, what am I looking at? What is going on? Meanwhile, again, Chris Angel, puffy shirt, black tights, doing the levitating with the weird dancing. Finally, the bit ends. And the curtain drops, and he comes out in front of the curtain and starts explaining that he loves kids. He loves working with kids. And what he's been doing over the past couple years is going to visit kids in the hospital that have childhood cancer. And he performs illusions for them. And that's one of his favorite things he likes to do. And he wanted to dedicate one of his most famous illusions to these kids that he is very, very, interested in helping. Mm-hmm. And the vibe in the theater is starting to come down a little bit. And he can kind of sense that. So this turns into about not joking, probably about a 10-minute monologue where he starts talking about the charity that he's set up to help all these kids with cancer. And he loves working with his charity, and there's nothing he loves more than donating his own money to it, blah, blah, blah. They've raised X amount of dollars in the year the charity's been around. And again, 10-minute monologue. At this point, some of the people around me are like starting to get a little teary-eyed. Mm-hmm. And I could tell because I could kind of see him. Because I was taking stock of the crowd because I wanted to see what everybody's reaction to this was. Then he drops the real bomb.
Yeah.
Which is the fact that his kid has leukemia and just finished chemo like a week ago. And this just, at that point, there was basically no dry eye in the house. Mm-hmm. And turns out his kid's there.
Oh my!
And his kid's in the front row, and he brings his kid up on stage. It's like, you're so brave, and we all need to be strong for you, and you could beat this thing. And like, people are just just clapping for him, and some people are crying, and it's starting to get a little weird in the theater. I'm like, you know what? I was not expecting this. This is a really weird direction for this to go. Now, what Chris says he's going to do is he's going to do one more illusion dedicated to all these kids with this horrible affliction of childhood cancer. And they wheel a wheelchair onto the stage. And on the wheelchair is his son's blanket and his son's favorite stuffed animals in the wheelchair. They turn the wheelchair around. Meanwhile, by this point, Chris has exited stage left. So he's not on stage anymore. It's just a spotlight on this wheelchair. Whole place goes silent. Bam, Chris appears into the wheelchair, just out of nowhere, appears in the wheelchair. Now, you're saying, all right, well, he was just off stage. Like, that's not that impressive. He had a costume change. He's now wearing a hospital gown and a cap.
Oh, no.
And a surgical mask. He's like, this one was for, all those kids that are, keep fighting the good fight. And everybody's like, oh, yeah. Oh, that was great. So the mood has deliberately just gone down in the theater. But Chris isn't done yet. He knows you can't end on a downer like that.
Yeah, send him home happy.
Yeah. So he takes a surgical mask off and he goes, you know what? Let's bring the mood back up. Let's celebrate life. And this is when the guy on the left that's got all the DJ equipment, this is his time to shine.
Yeah.
Because essentially, Chris starts this kind of weird rave, or what a 50-year-old man thinks a rave is. So this really awful dubstep starts playing, and you could tell like the guy that's got the DJ equipment, he's kind of playing some of the real like chunky bass lines, and he's going nuts. All kinds of black lights turn on, and these people come out in these bodysuits, and they're glowing on stage, and they've got glow sticks, and other people got hula hoops, and they're glowing in the black light. And Chris starts this chant to go along with the dubstep. He was like, all right, we're gonna celebrate life, ready, celebrate life. And then like
that's the chant, celebrate life.
That's the chant. That is like celebrate. Well, there were three of them. There was celebrate love, celebrate life, and then I forget what the third thing was.
Celebrate Hanukkah.
Yeah, I mean, it was, so this was his big plan. It's like, I'm gonna get this crowd back into it. And meanwhile, these people on stage again are doing like weird acrobatics with the black light hula hoops and everything. Meanwhile, Chris has got his microphone and he's jumping up and down, pogoing and shaking his fist. Celebrate life. And again, the people around me are loving it. They're like, yeah, this is great. Celebrate life. And he drops confetti and balloons and everything. And then he launches into his final illusion of the night, which is, again, another levitation, but the most technically difficult one yet. And again, really impressive illusion where he gets on he flies up to the top of like a 20-foot ladder and then walks down the ladder with his feet like perpendicular to the ladder.
That sounds good.
Which again, pretty impressive. I'm like, okay, well maybe there's wires or something, but then he levitates down and flies underneath the ladder.
Oh my God.
It's like, well, how the hell did he do that? And again, I'm thinking, all right, $60 or whatever for these tickets. I was thoroughly entertained. The childhood cancer thing was weird, but
kind of a downer.
I feel pretty good about it. So he starts to wrap up the show, comes back out and does another like 10-minute monologue about his charity. And he just set this charity up. It's his new passion. He's dedicating a lot of time to it, and he's got these collection buckets set up outside of the theater doors, so he can you can immediately walk out, and it's like, if you just got a couple bucks, throw a couple bucks in there. Even some change helps, but every little bit helps. So please help me and help my son. Help all these kids with childhood cancer. And as he's kind of wrapping up, you could see like people around me were like, oh no, I'm getting the hell out of here. So they immediately. So immediately people in the back start standing up, and I'm like, well, I'm not getting caught in some big group of people.
They all take their coats and like put like the collars up and put it over their head.
Like, oh man, like, I've been in Vegas for a week. I've already spent too much money. I'm sorry. I can't. So like, it's me, and I'm not joking, probably like 8 or 10 other husbands like immediately got up and bolted for the door. And then we didn't look at each other. We didn't even move our eyes up from the floor, and we immediately made a beeline out of the theater, out of the lobby, down the hallway with the motorcycles. And then I immediately had to stop and call my wife because I have to tell you all of this right now. So that was my experience with Chris Angel. And what I will say is that I spent $60 on those tickets. They weren't cheap, but I was thoroughly entertained. And after all of this, I will say, if you have the chance to see Chris Angel in Vegas, do it, because you will be entertained. And I think no matter what, regardless of this entire story, I think you can tell that I love words. I thank you for hearing my words. I want to tell you something about words that I think is important. They're my work, they're my play, they're my passion. Words are all we have, really. We have thoughts, but thoughts are fluid, you know, like woo, 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 pop. Then we assign a word to a thought and we're stuck with that word for that thought. So be careful with words. I'd like to think that, yeah, the same words that can hurt can heal. It's just a matter of how you pick them. There are some people that aren't into all the words. There are some that would have you not use certain words. Yeah, there are 400,000 words in the English language, and there are 7 of them that you can't say on television. What a ratio that is. 399,993 to 7. They must be really bad. They'd have to be outrageous to be separated from a group that large. All you over here, you 7 bad words. That's what they told us they were, remember? That's a bad word. No bad words, bad thoughts, bad intentions in words. You know the 7, don't you? The 7 words that you can't say on television. Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man, Crash, Jack, Daxter, and Bubsy. Those are the heavy 7. Those are the ones that'll infect your